start the show with Dilip Buildcon. We have a swelling order book, a fast execution and financial closure of projects. And we are this afternoon in conversation with Rohan Suryavanshi, the Head of Strategy and Planning of Dilip Buildcon. Rohan, good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us. Let me just start off with a little more clarity that a lot of us were needed was with respect to the projects that you have transferred to SHREM. If I'm not mistaken, those projects are worth 1,600 crores. Can you tell us a little more about the debt around these 24-odd projects and the timelines with which you're going to actually eventually transfer these projects to SHREM?
Hi, Agam and Navneet. Firstly, thank you for having me on your show. So the 24 assets that you're talking about that we've transferred to SHREM, those assets are, as you rightly pointed out, they are about 1,600 crores worth of equity. So all of these assets, out of the 1,600 crores, SHREM has already paid us about 570 crores in FY18. They are paying us another 610 crores in FY19. And it will be spread out across the year. And about 400 crores plus is what they're investing directly into these assets, which basically means that this money DBL does not have to put in. These assets, because are still under construction. So they are putting that money directly. So that is basically how the 1,600 crore money is coming in, out of which only 610 crores in this year, which has to come to DBL's books. Now,
just a clarification there, you said 600 crore is something which is yet to be received and that will be spread throughout the year. So safe to assume every quarter probably you can get some 150 or 200 crores from there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly just every quarter, but yes, it will flow throughout different quarters. By the end of quarter 4 is when all the money will come in, and the majority of portion of the money is coming in quarter 3 and quarter 4. We will see some trickle in the first 2 quarters as well, but it's majority in quarter 3 and quarter 4.
You've also stated that the debt will be transferred once all the projects are completed. Could you tell us what is the total debt that is there which will be transferred to SHREM?
All the debt that you see on my consolidated balance sheet.
Is it 2,800 crores?
No, I mean, so on a standalone basis, the debt is about 2,800 crores. Anything above that, all these assets or the total debt.
Do you have the figure for us, Rohan? What exactly is that debt?
In total, when all these projects are completed, see the total project of the whole size of this project is about 10,500 crores, out of which equity portion is 1,600 crores, and there is about 4,500 crores or plus of debt that will eventually be taken over by the SHREM group.
Okay, one more question from my side, Rohan. If I look at your FY18 numbers, your total balance sheet, in your balance sheet, the total debt was nearly 2,800 crore. And if I look at the finance cost, that was somewhere in the range of 450 to 500 crores. So could you tell us what's the cost of borrowing for you and how much of the mobilization advances that you've given are interest bearing?
So sure. You're very right. The interest cost that we have on our books is about 464 crores for this financial year. Now, this includes all the bank charges, LC charges, BG charges, all of this that we're doing. And it also includes the CC interest cost, the equipment borrowing cost, all of that. And we've given a detailed breakup on our presentation. If you go check out our presentation, you will find a detailed breakup of that. Now, the cost of borrowing for us is about 10 to 11% is where it comes out. But all these different charges about, that all sort of add to this cost, which is all part of it. Because we also have to take a lot of non-fund limits. Basically, all the bank guarantees, when you're bidding for projects, we need to have bank guarantees.
Approximately, Rohan, 170 to 200 crore of interest which was paid last year was towards, you're saying, BG, LC and the other things?
Yeah, the whole total breakup is on our website. You can have a look at it in detail.
Sure, thanks.
Rohan, my question was to do with working capital, and from what I understand, it certainly has improved. In fact, your net working capital days has nearly halved over the last 4 years. But there is also, this information that we have is that you have certain dues on account of GST which is stuck. Can you give us more updates with respect to, both these aspects?
Sure, absolutely. So the GST problem is a problem which is not just in our industry, but it's across different sectors. The GST money has not come back has not been released by the government. So even on our receivables, we have about 200 crores or so of GST, out of which half of it has come in this financial year. The government, even though it's delayed, now they are trying to push through and give out all the money. So half of it has already come out.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the first part? What was the other question that you asked?
No, it was about the working capital, the net working capital.
Yes. The net working capital, sorry, just to come to that as well. You rightly pointed out in the last 4 years, our net working capital has actually halved. Our working capital days has halved. It has come from 193 days to about 94 days or so. Even though our top line, our revenues have more than tripled. So that is the most, fantastic part about this whole, how we've gotten how we've gotten better with our finances, how we reduced the investments, and the years that we first started investing in these equipment, and the benefit of which we are seeing right now in terms of how the revenue of the company has been growing year after year.
Okay, Rohan, if I look at a company like yours, Dilip Buildcon, you guys have the highest EBITDA and the ROE in the industry. Just wanted to check if the free cash flow which is generated from your standalone business, can that take care of the projects which are under construction, or would we be witnessing more of debt from the company?
No, the debt on an absolute number should also be coming down. The cash flows are very strong. The amount that is coming from SHREM this year, about 600 crores or so, will fund the equity portion that we need to invest for our new HAM projects. So we have a very, very strong year ahead. And even if you look at the last 4 years or so, or 5 years even if you want to go back, our total debt has only increased 25% or so, while again I reiterate, our revenues have grown by more than 300% in the same time. So even this
25% was the increase last year. What percentage can you give us in terms of reduction?
No, not in last year. In the last 4 years.
Last 4 years, fair enough. What sort of reduction can we expect then this year or the next 3 years?
I don't want to put a number on it, but it will be definitely a decent number even this year and going forward. And our debt equity is 1:1, which will continue coming down. Okay. And you can see that trend for the last 3-4 years.
Have you guys appointed your new CFO?
No, we are in the search for a new CFO, even though we've started adding to our finance team, and we've also recently hired VP, Vice President in Finance, a very senior guy. He's joined us and he brings with us experience from different infrastructure companies, and we're very so while we are in the search for a CFO, we've also started appointing different roles and strengthening the finance team.
All right, Rohan, a final question from our side. This is around the time when you take stock of the possibility of impact of changes in the political environment on companies, because we just a year away from general elections. Considering your exposure, your order book exposure to the central government, can you tell us anything about the possibility and how that can impact your business? Because from what I understand, a significant portion of your order book comes from the central government.
Well, we are working for the best client in the country in that ways. We are a company with national presence. We are present in 17 different states. If you are working for different state governments, then that would be a bigger challenge. Here you are working with an authority, you're working with NHAI, you're working with MORTH. Now, these agencies have a fantastic track record of paying on time. And even if you look at it right now, we get our money within 30 to 40 days. So all of this put together, we are we are in a very comfortable position. And again, if you look at, this is the same situation for not just us, for everyone. If you look at the industry, the central government is the one which has been awarding all the projects. So this is not going to be a problem. If it's going to be one, then it's going to be for everyone.
Okay, Rohan, before I let you go, this has nothing got to do with your business operation, but just to assuage investors' concerns because the stock has corrected so much. I know one of the reasons which was highlighted also because your stock came under additional surveillance measures by the exchanges. Just by any chance, did you try and contact the exchange why this move was taken?
Absolutely, we did. Even we were surprised that we were put under this, and we reached out and we wrote to the regulator as well for this. But we got a very standard reply on that, which doesn't indicate, because we have absolutely no clue what are the qualitative and the quantitative matrix on which the regulator takes these decisions. I don't think they made those public. And how do we get out of that? So we have both on both these fronts. We do not have clarity, and even though we sought clarity, we were given a very standard reply, which does not really address any of those questions with absolutely.